Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, back with another episode of You Say What. And for those of you who are new to my community, You Say What is your opportunity to chime in, to leave your 2 cents, and to be a part of the discussion that is happening here on my channel within my community of cerebralites. Having said that, before you go another further, do yourself a favor and do me a solid. Take a second and hit that subscribe button. And once you've done that, take another second and hit that tiny little bell so that you can turn on your alerts. That way you'll be kept in the loop. So today we're going to get a little political, you guys. We're going to talk about Kathy Griffin and why I feel she shouldn't apologize to Donald Trump. Now, I get that people are upset about the imagery, and I can understand to some degree why they're upset about the imagery. But what I don't understand is why apologies only seem to work in one direction when it comes to Donald Trump. This man has, for the last 2 years, done nothing more than propagate hate, in my opinion. And each time he's done something hateful, something despicable, never has he apologized. Never has he stepped forward and humbled himself to the degree that he would give an apology. But for some reason, he always feels entitled to one. Now, I don't want to make this a race thing, but I definitely feel to some degree this whole white male privilege is to a large degree what's fueling his belief that only he is worthy of an apology. You know, like he is constantly extending his pinky finger out to be kissed. And so, and let me tell you guys just really quickly, for those of you who don't know what's going on, Kathy Griffin recently did a photo shoot where she's basically holding a decapitated Donald Trump in her hand. And the picture is very Al-Qaeda-esque, very sort of ISIS-ish, if you will. So I get to some degree why people are offended. I just don't understand why the offense seems to always be one-sided. You know, we have a case recently in Portland where there was a man who was essentially harassing 2 people of color. And one girl was wearing a hijab. And that's the scarf worn by Muslim women, sort of the modesty scarf, if you will. And this man in Portland essentially harassed these 2 women. And 2 guys came to their defense. And ultimately, this man stabbed 1 man to death. And I believe 1 man is still hospitalized. And when I hear stories like this happen across the country, for whatever reason, I immediately think about Donald Trump, because I feel like he, to a large degree, has propagated hate speech and fear-mongering and sort of this anti-Semitism and xenophobia that is really prevalent in our country right now. And he's emboldened and sort of helped to fuel this race war that is essentially happening in our country. And then he comes out with these sort of soft-handed repudiations, you know, very bad, not good, not okay. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, how is that doing anything to admonish these people who are, you know, like, where's your apology for that? Why aren't you apologizing to the family of these 2 young men whose lives are forever changed, to these 2 young women who are forever traumatized by this incident? Why are you not apologizing for that? Because to a large degree, I feel like he is the figurehead for this alt-right movement that is permeating our country. And rather than really get out ahead of it, really sort of disassociate himself, and not just disassociate himself, to really speak out against this sort of ideology, he refuses to do it. He refuses to do it. And so then you'll get on Twitter and you'll send a tweet, like I said before, saying very bad, not good. Who said what is that? And so while I understand why Kathy Griffin, apologized, I don't think that she needed to. I think that if you can dish it, you should be able to take it. And Donald Trump is clearly not able to take it. In the words of Elizabeth Warren, he is thin-skinned. And I think that when we continue to apologize and once again kiss his pinky ring, then we help to fuel his hubris and feed the beast of white male privilege that is growing ever larger within Donald Trump. And I get why Kathy Griffin apologized. I get that she wants to make sure that she doesn't damage her career irretrievably. That makes sense. I mean, it's a smart business move. But at the same time, I don't think that she sincerely means the apology. I just think that she's simply doing what's expected of her. But I think that when she took that photo, she made a very strong statement. And I know that that statement is something that she probably wholeheartedly believes in. And maybe she probably believes that she probably took it too far in terms of the imagery. But I think that the sentiment is still there. And I think that a lot of people in the country are feeling that sentiment. And I think that people are so focused on the image that they're not focused on what caused the image, where that feeling is coming from. It's almost like people are not entitled to feel the way that they feel about Donald Trump when he's constantly alienating, disrespecting, spitting in the face of people, but for some reason we're all supposed to bow at his feet. Look, I stand by every bad thing that I've ever said about Donald Trump. I call him President Pussy Fingers, Cheeto Jesus. I mean, I've called him. I call Trump supporters Trombies because they all seem like zombies who are sort of have this allegiance to Trump where they don't see any of the things that he does wrong. So anything that I've ever said bad about Trump, I stand by it wholeheartedly. Now, I've never taken a photo of him, picture of a decapitated Trump, and that's probably not something that I would ever do. But at the same time, I think that what Kathy Griffin did is precisely what Trump has been doing. He's been disrespecting people. He's been propagating hate. He's been, creating this climate, this unstable climate here in America where, people don't feel safe anymore. And so why should he be safe? Why should he be excluded from feeling the way that many of us feel? I think that what Kathy did was give Donald Trump a taste of his own medicine. And once again, he's proven that he does not like the taste of his own medicine. But for whatever reason, he believes that we all do. So I want to hear what you guys have to think. Do you think Kathy should have apologized? I personally feel like she shouldn't have apologized. Do I believe the image took it a little bit over the top? Yeah, I do believe that. But at the same time, I believe Donald Trump has been taking it over the top for the past 2 years. He's made statements about Hillary Clinton, about how let's see what happens if she doesn't have, her guards around her. He's perpetuated this whole birther movement. He's never apologized to Obama for all of the things that he said about him. But for whatever reason, I'm just so sick and tired of him feeling that he is worthy of an apology, but he doesn't have to give apologies where it counts. So I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think. Do you think she should have apologized? Make sure you comment below. Like, subscribe, share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And as always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.